What's going on, Minties? Omar from Near Mint Condition, and I'm joined by my lovely, oh shit, not lovely
Yes,
co-host,
I am lovely.
Rob Fox. Everybody,
What's up, guys? How y'all doing? Good morning. Happy birthday to me. It's May. It is my birth month.
yes, but he only has one day
No, I have the
to
whole month.
celebrate. So today we got our video game hauls, and usually I let Rob kick it off because I don't have that much, but my buddy Kyle sent me a box full of stuff. It's some of this amazing stuff that I'm going to share with Rob. And some of you guys will probably know what some of this stuff is. But first, I'm going to kick it off with
Shouts
my
out to Kyle.
lovely Amiibos. Oh yeah, always shout out to Kyle. That's my road dog. My Amiibos that I'm going to open because I've been saving to open these while I was on the air. So
What
I
are you
can't.
doing? You can't open Amiibo? They're for
I
collecting.
don't even use these. Ken, Young Link, and Daisy. Now, Young Link and Daisy have previously been released as Daisy from the Super Mario Brothers Party set, correct?
Yes, that's right.
And Young Link from the Majora's Mask.
Yes, I think I'm
Legend of
looking at
Zelda.
Daisy. I think I'm looking at Daisy right in front of me.
Yeah. Well, yep. So this is Daisy from actual Smash Brothers, and 4 more were announced for pre-order. Pichu.
Hold on.
Who else? I can't remember. Rob, you left me. You're like the guy that actually knows this. Why would you leave me now? But anyway, I kicked that off with that, and then I had a birthday in March, and my buddy, this piece of crap across the screen here, Rob, got me this awesome surprise. I've been looking for this, and this is the Katamari Damacy reroll on the Switch. Physical release was only available at
GameStop. And it was super hard to find. Like, they had a run, and that was it.
Yeah. I think it's a little easier to find that at reprint because people are like, hey, I want it. And GameStop's like, sure, we found some in the warehouse. Right? It's usually what they do. But I'm going to let you take over, my man. What did you get? I know you always haul big. Video game hauls are your thing.
Well, so this is the thing. As I mentioned in the previous videos, January, February, and March were the big releases for Anthem, Sekiro, Devil May Cry, Resident Evil 2. Like, those are the big games that I've shown them all, been playing them all, love them all, right? So past that, it's been kind of dry. However, that does not mean that I don't have a lot of cool stuff for the haul, because as much as I love those games, I have to say, Best Buy, one of my favorite places to buy video games. I was a member of their Gamers Club Unlocked, where if you paid $30 for 2 years, you got 20% off video games. And I don't know if you bought a video game, it pays for itself in like 2 transactions. That's it. Best Buy probably figured out that, oh, we're losing money with this. So they phased out Gamers Club Unlocked. So when they did that, my Gamers Club Unlocked recently expired. It's like, okay, I need to go buy everything that I've been holding off on right now. So my wife choked me and beat me up, but what I was trying to tell her is I was saving her money. So before I get to my Best Buy pile, I will show off a couple of new things that I picked up. So I'll be very brief. This is Final Fantasy X and X-2 for the Switch. So why do I have the Japanese version?
I know why.
Why don't you tell me why you think, Omar?
Oh, I know why. Because I got my wife Final Fantasy X and X-2. And motherfucking X-2 is digital only. Like a digital download only. So X is the physical copy. So I did a little research, and apparently the Japanese version had a physical copy of both. However, it doesn't have the English language track on there.
So as I understand this, and I haven't opened it, so
you're never gonna open it, so it doesn't matter. You're never gonna know.
The Japanese version has the physical release of X and X-2. I think I see them in here, or I could be mistaken. That could be.
Okay, why don't you just open it up? I mean, it's not worth. It's gonna be worth shit anyway. But anyway, so does it? It doesn't have the English. So unless you understand Japanese, you're not gonna be able to play that, right?
Well, that's what usually Japanese games have the English tracks in them. So I think for this release, you're right. It does not have the English track in it. But when I purchased it at the time, I was like, okay, I want to get the physical copies of both versions of this game. It'll be in English, no big deal. It costs about the same. I push the button, boom. But I think you're right. I don't think there is English in this. Now, what I'm hoping for is maybe Squeenix will give a patch where they'll patch in like where everything's the same, because like that's the whole point of the Switch being region free is there's just one SKU, one game across all regions. So for right now, I couldn't play this if I wanted to anyway, even though I have this on every other system. So yeah, this is a bittersweet thing where it almost was really cool. It was almost a dream, and then it turned out not to be quite what I was looking for.
Yeah, you wasted money, but that's okay. You usually do.
Shush. Speaking of wasting money,
what did you get?
Mortal Kombat.
It's not even open. Is that? What version is that?
So this is the premium edition. The premium edition comes with, let's see here, 6 DLC playable characters.
Now, Sia Rhymes in the chat is saying you can totally play that without knowing Japanese. That's true. I mean, my wife has played that game so many times that she can totally play that without understanding. Like, she knows where to go and things like that. And I don't think they added that much more from the PS4 version.
Yeah. Like
you won't understand shit, but you would not have to anyway. That's true. He's not wrong.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, I have Final Fantasy X and X-2 on everything else, so it's not that big a deal, but valid point. And I was the guy, I had a bunch of old Japanese games like Tengai Makyo 2 for the Turbo CD, which never got a release, never got an English translation. Hint, internet, get on that. And I played through a decent chunk of that, not knowing what to do. So, it's fine. Anyway, so this Mortal Kombat comes with 6 DLC characters, 1 week early access to the DLC characters, 7 exclusive character skins, and gear sets for customization, and it comes in a metal box. So, I will be playing this. Even though it's not open, I do plan on opening this.
I was going to say, as a guy that's probably not going to open that, what do you benefit from that?
I am absolutely going to open this and play it.
Now, you and I differ here. You branched down into Mortal Kombat. I never really got into it. I think
No. That's incorrect. I was always a Street Fighter guy.
I know. But you were okay playing Mortal Kombat.
Yes,
where I was really snooty about it. I'm like, Mortal Kombat. It's not a fighting game unless some motherfucker screaming Hadouken and throwing a fireball. But I think as I aged, I finally got into like Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 was the one that I'm like, this is all right, because I really didn't dig 1 and 2. And I've been so out of the loop on Mortal Kombat games. I think the last thing I played, I did play the, was it Injustice, the same team that did that?
Injustice, yes.
Yeah.
Injustice 2. Those are great games. Great games.
We are out of control, Matthew. Help us. We need to go to, like, AA for people that collect shit. What is that called?
What is that called? CC?
I don't know.
Collectors
Club.
Collectors Club. I think that would encourage things.
Yeah, right. They'll give us like a coin for each time we don't buy something. I'm like, I'm gonna get all the coins.
Gotta get all the coins.
Anyway,
so I'm also kind of like you. Like, Street Fighter is my thing. You've been to my house. You see my Street Fighter arcade one up. Like, that is my thing. And Mortal Kombat 1, I thought was hot garbage. I'm sorry, Ed Boon, just not my jam. Mortal Kombat 2.
Charlie Rogers saying Mortal Kombat is the best.
See this face? No. So Mortal Kombat 2, I kind of like, okay, this is kind of fun. I played with my brother. And Mortal Kombat 3, I wasn't a big fan of. Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3, I was like, okay, this is like, So I'm an on and off relationship with Mortal Kombat. I hope Ed Boon is not watching this because I've met him and talked with him and told him how much I love Mortal Kombat. So this will make me out to be a big old liar.
I can't remember who is the toasty guy. Is that Ed Boon or is he the Noob Saibot?
Noob Saibot is Ed Boon and John Tobias backwards. And Ed Boon's Twitter handle is Ed Boon backwards. So he's keeping it real.
that is keeping it real. Good for him.
Yeah, but he's still involved in the community. He's still like, he's the main producer and director for this game. And it's really awesome. So the last Mortal Kombat, I think it was Mortal Kombat 10 or XL or something, which we'll talk about in just a second. But this is like actually legit, fun, gory, silly, a good game. Like, you could definitely see a lot of not homages, but like, the experience they got from Injustice 2 is in this game. It's actually legit fun. So I'm looking forward to playing this Mortal Kombat next time we have like a big video game get together and things like that. So Mortal Kombat 11. Dope.
Were you at E3 last year? Because Charlie Rogers got to meet Ed Boon last year.
I was at E3 last year, and I met Ed Boon last year at GDC, not at E3. But he's a really, like, for real nice guy. I've listened to podcasts of him talking about his experience of making Mortal Kombat through the years and what he did and all the rotoscoping and the digitalization and all that process. And he's just a really nice guy. And like I said, I got a chance to talk to him once, like just passing on the street. And then I went to a Primal Rage 2 session, and
Primal Rage 2.
Yeah, exactly. And he sat next to me, and I was like, "Hey,
what's up, Jesse? Thanks for stopping by. Go ahead, man. Sorry."
And we were just talking quietly, but we were talking about the game and stuff during the presentation, and they had an homage. Thanks to Ed Boon and Mortal Kombat. I was like, "Dude, that's you." He's like, "I know, right?" So I was getting ribbed by Ed Boon. It was amazing.
Did you tell him you didn't appreciate Mortal Kombat? You were more of a Street Fighter guy.
I did not bring that up. I said I enjoyed Mortal Kombat, and I do enjoy Mortal Kombat. And so one more thing, talking about Mortal Kombat. I talked about the Arcade 1-Up, like the Street Fighter unit that I have downstairs.
Mm-hmm.
They're also releasing a Mortal Kombat Arcade 1-Up cabinet. It might be out now. I think it's actually out this month. And it includes Mortal Kombat 1, Mortal Kombat 2, and Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3. And the artwork is the Mortal Kombat 2 artwork. So it's Raiden on the side, and it looks really nice. So I don't know.
Your kids are not gonna have a bedroom. You're gonna have a room full of these ridiculous mini arcades.
You're right, because the problem is, I want to buy this because again, I like Mortal Kombat 2. That was my jam, and these games aren't bad. And Arcade 1-Up, they fixed the display, they fixed the controls. It is a better unit than my Street Fighter unit is. So I kind of want to buy Mortal Kombat 2, but I don't know if it's a good idea for my 6-year-old, 4-year-old, and 2-year-old baby to be walking around with blood spewing everywhere in a Mortal Kombat cabinet. I don't know if that's
they're totally fine with that. All right, so I'm gonna go on to a little more birthday haul here. Got some old games, Knack and Thief from some friends, and then Captain Toad, not so old. This is a remake of a Wii U game. And then I believe they also released this on the 3DS, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, that's right. Mm-hmm. In 3D.
And then this is the latest incarnation, which is probably the same damn game except they added Toadette. So I was like, all right, new feature, Toadette. Being that I never picked up the Wii U version, this is really nice. So that was really sweet.
It adds Toadette, and it adds I think a couple of stages from Super Mario Odyssey.
All right, so here we go. This is something that I'm gonna start on the Kyle stuff here.
Okay.
But this is super sweet. He got me this copy of Panzer Dragoon Saga. Not real, man. This is not legit. But man, this is so nice because I told my story of letting a friend borrow mine, and he moved up to New York. I called, and he's like, "Yeah, I still got it." And him and his girl broke up, and she ended up pawning it, which broke my heart. Now I never got to play Burning Nights, so this is, like I said, it's a backup copy of it. He also got me Dragon Force 2 with the English patch, but for some reason it doesn't work on my Saturn. So
we'll take a look at that.
And then Police Knots.
That's
which
fantastic.
This is the English patch, right?
Yeah, that's
and then,
awesome.
Vampire Savior,
Kyle,
which is a classic. Oh, he does, because it gets better here in a little bit. But those were really nice. I wasn't expecting some of those, and it's nice just to have Panzer Dragoon Saga. It almost hurt to put the first disc in. The disc have artwork and stuff, and I put the first disc in, and I was like, I remember when I had this for real. But this is really sweet. All right, man. What's next for you?
All right. Next up. So talking about random things. This game right here. This is called FX Unit Yuki.
Okay.
This is a
Turbo 16.
This is a TurboGrafx Super CD System ROM. This is a new game. So some guys out of Brazil, I believe, is where Sao Paulo is. Might want to double check that. Some brothers who speak Spanish or Portuguese created this game. This is I shouldn't say homebrew because that really kind of diminishes what it is. This is a love letter to everything TurboGrafx. So this game, and let me see if I can get close so you can see the art. This game takes a whole bunch of fantastic TurboGrafx CD games and remixes them with this character named Yuki. So you can see here, there's levels from Cotton, there's levels from Bonk, there's levels from Dracula X, and what is this last one? Oh, from Lords of Thunder. So there's some really cool, it takes all of your favorite Super CD, TurboGrafx games, and puts his character in all these different situations. And it's a lot of cool. It says here, take control of Yuki and set off on a digital journey of pixel proportions. Get ready for FX Unit Yuki. 8 levels of hardcore retro action with power-ups, varying stage types, and multiple endings accompanied by an amazing sound design. And the music is actually really tight. So this is this just came in the other day, which is why I haven't opened it. But I'm going to open this, play it, rip it, and put it on my Super SD System 3. So there you go. FX Unit Yuki. And it's really cool that we still have technology and programmers and homebrewers who are willing to make new games for old systems. So I had to get a jump in on this for a physical release.
Oh, that's cool.
Right.
So I know you got a big, huge Best Buy pile. So
you want to jump into that?
Okay. Let me do a little more. So I've been playing the shit. Okay, so these are games I've actually been playing here. So I had to open this and play it. I know you've got the limited edition, I think, correct?
Actually, I don't have any SNK heroines. I've been waiting for it to go down.
That's what you don't have the limited edition one? Wasn't there an exclusive Nippon Ichi one with the box set and cards and stuff?
What you're thinking of is I got the Nippon Ichi, the NIS version of the 40th anniversary games, like the old SNK games. Yeah, I didn't get the heroines.
Okay. So the controls on this are pretty easy. It's on the Switch, so there's very much not really a lot you can do, but it's a lot of fun. I've been playing that by myself, and these with my kids.
Oh yeah, that's great.
The Rayman Legends, it's fun to play with them because actually it's easier to control than a lot of the Super Mario levels in the new Super Mario Brothers video game on the Switch.
Why do you say that?
I don't know. They seem to have an easier time using this control. I don't know why. They have a hard time jumping on turtles on Super Mario Brothers. I don't know why. And then Super Bomberman, because that just brings back, nothing beats, to me, Super Bomberman 2 on the Super Nintendo, followed by Saturn Bomberman. But this one's pretty fun. They didn't change it that much. They brought it back. It's a lot better than the PS1 ones.
Yeah, the last Armageddon Party, I'm pretty sure we had that game, 8-player versions of that game.
So yes, this holds up to 8 players on one TV. So that is really cool. All right, man. Let's start with your Best Buy lot here.
All right. So Best Buy, I kind of went a little crazy. So things that I have been meaning to pick up but did not get a chance to pick up. First up, Overcooked 2. Have you played any of these Overcooked games?
I love Overcooked 1. I made Tina cry when we played it together because that's how bossy I am. And my brothers get frustrated with me. They're like, this is why we hate playing games with you.
So just in case you don't know what this is you are a chef or a person in a restaurant, and you have you're supposed to be serving customers, and there's different types of restaurants and food styles and things like that. And it's multiplayer, and persons get assigned jobs. Like one person might be to cook, the other person might be to do dishes, the other person might be to serve. So you're supposed to work together to get this thing to get through stages. But some people like Omar are not very nice and kind of yell at everybody.
Oh, dude, I play like Chef Gordon Ramsay. I'm like,
you donkey!
Get the damn onion, you idiots! Yeah, I'm an asshole. Like, I get like so into these games. I don't know why anybody was to play with me.
So yeah, Overcooked is fantastic. Great family fun. I know several families that have almost disbanded because of this game. So if you like Overcooked 1, you'll love Overcooked 2. There's more recipes, kitchens, more chefs, more things to do. So Overcooked 2. Civilization 6.
What? You're never going to play that. You're never going to play that. Why'd you get that? All right, go ahead.
Because it was on sale. It was not only was it on sale the week that my Gamers Club Unlocked released, also Gamers Club Unlocked got it to me for cheap. It's like, oh my gosh, I got to pick up Civ 6. Now, there's a strong possibility, you're right, I'm not going to play this, so I might give this to someone. I might do this as a giveaway or somebody. But Civilization, if you were into strategy games, and there's a few that I can get into. And Civilization, I have Civilization. Where is this? I might have moved it. Civ 2 on PC was my jam. I played so much Civ 2. So I love Civilization as a whole. And the fact that this is on the Switch and it's portable, and Civ 6 is really slick. All kinds of dynasties. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to give this away. I can see me devoting way, way, way too many hours into this. And it's portable, so I can play it when I'm driving to work or play it on a plane or what have you. So
remember Castle Shikigami 2?
Yes, I have that back over there.
You remember how that was a running joke between you and I? You had to have it that day, and I'm like, I'm gonna ask you every year this day if you ever played it.
Okay, all right, go ahead. Ask me.
That was probably 10 years ago, right?
Yeah.
You had to go out of your way to get it. Have you played it yet?
No, it's not over.
So this isn't new with Rob. This has been an ongoing issue with him. All right, go ahead.
For the next haul, I will bring in Castle Shikigami because it is over there.
I give you so much shit. I'm like, why do you even want that, dude? You're not gonna play it, and you're like, I'm gonna so play it one day.
I'm so gonna play it one day. You know what?
10 years ago. 10 years ago, and I was like, I'm gonna ask you every year if you played it yet.
So what I want to know, what I need to check is if it's opened. If it's opened, I actually am going to play it because the PlayStation 2 is right there, and I got cables for it. So if it is open, I will play it. If it's not, I don't know. We're not going to do that.
I want to see video. Go ahead.
Diablo 3. So this is Diablo 3, and it has a whole bunch of all the DLC. It's just the complete all Diablo 3 content. So all the
what's up, Make Havoc?
Necromancer and all the sagas and da 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 da. So,
buying games and not playing them is a grand tradition. This is true. This is something Rob hopes to pass on to his kids and their next generation.
Oh, my kids! My kids are like, "Daddy, open your game. I want to see." And then they play it for 2 seconds, and they're done. Like they're breaking me. They're breaking me inside.
That's kind of like you too, though. Oh, Diablo, I played it. Done. Check off the list.
That's true. Yeah, I will not finish. I will open Diablo, and I will play Diablo. I will not get to the end because I don't have time to play. I have a stack of games right here I need to get through. So,
prioritize. We need to make a prioritized video with you. I'm going to go to your house. I'm going to marry Kondo, but not get rid of your shit. I'm just going to say, all right, bitch, this is what you're going to play next. I want to see video of the ending.
Well, maybe this is what we'll do for the next haul. But speaking of Marie Kondo, my wife is, as much as I'm into video games, my wife is into organization. Like, me going to Toys R Us is her equivalent is going to the Container Store. Like, she loves organization. So I was like, babe, I have too many games. We need to clean them up. And she was like, yes. So she immediately she drove out of the house. She left. I was like, but we're eating dinner, and went to the Container Store which is in Ohio. Like, where are you going? I'm going to the Container Store. It's 7:00 on a school night. I'll be there. It'll be fine. She brought back all these containers and shelves and things. So I've been putting all the games and stuff on a shelf, organizing them and things like that. So maybe by the next episode, I'll be able to show you the games and what they look like and things like that. So she totally,
you should do a tour.
Totally Marie Kondo me. But
all right, Matthew. We don't talk about the things I buy and not read. Go ahead.
Look behind you. Look behind you. So the last thing I want to say about Diablo is this has exclusive Ganondorf armor set. So I'll get the armor set and be like, oh, cool. And then next game.
Not if it's 25 hours into the game.
If it's 25 hours in the game, you're right.
You're going to see a YouTube video and you're like, oh, okay, that's what it's like. Cool.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. That's cool. Let's see. Next. This is Guilty Pleasure. Resident Evil 4. This was $20. With the discount, it was like $15. And I think I had a coupon that made it even cheaper. I have Resident Evil 4 on the original GameCube, on the Wii, on the PS2, 3, and now the PS4. I bought Resident Evil 4 so many times, but it's really, 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 really good.
Do you have it on the Switch?
No, because I think it's only is it digital in America?
I don't know. I was just asking.
I think in America, and someone might have to double check me on this. I think in America, when it is released, because I don't think it's out, it comes in a multi-box, and the Resident Evil 4 I think is a digital download, and Resident Evil 0 is what's on the cartridge, which seems completely backwards to me. But having worked with Nintendo, I kind of understand why, because you can buy games of the cards, different sizes, and different sizes cost a different amount of money. So you could argue and say, okay, I want to put the smallest game on the smallest card because it costs the least and you can get the most markup. So maybe that's what they're doing. I'm not really sure. But I know me, when Resident Evil 4 is on the Switch, at some point I will probably end up getting it because I love Resident Evil 4. And after playing through Resident Evil 2, I did in fact open up play through Resident Evil 4 on the GameCube. Played on the GameCube because I just love that game.
Own Resident Evil 4 on every system. Never played any of them.
That's not true.
Hashtag gamer. I've got it on the GameCube, and I think that's it. I never upgraded to anything else because maybe one day they'll release a box set, and I don't see myself replaying it anytime soon. All right, I'm gonna give you a break.
Okay.
Have you played? This is a Japanese exclusive.
Oh, no.
I think it's digitally available. This is Blade Arcus from Shining EX series. I think it's a Sega fighting game.
Look, hold that up close. That looks like all rack.
Oh yeah, those are titties. It took me a minute. Oh, that's not her elbow. That's a titty. So yes,
that's
classic
fantastic.
Japanese
I need to buy this game.
Artwork. It's available for digital download in America, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, but only available physically in Japan. And
okay.
it's it's pretty fun. It's not the the game mechanics aren't as good as per se. Even some of the Blast Blue or Guilty Gear stuff. That's kind of what it reminds me of. But it's still pretty fun. I believe some of these characters are from the Shining series. That's what makes this pretty cool.
Oh, okay.
Shining Wind, Shining Tears. Sega's Shining. I don't know. Have you ever played the Shining 4 series?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So I'll be in Japan in a couple of months, so I'll have to be sure.
That's right, you're going.
But I'll probably grab that because again, it's a huge rack, and then the boss.
Yeah, and then I got this. This is Night Boy. This is a limited edition, only available in Europe. This is from Bandland Publishing. This also came from Kyle. It's on the Switch.
That's awesome.
So I'm going to open this up while you go ahead. I want to see what's in here because this is like a limited edition box. Maybe there's a little art book or something in here. But you go ahead.
Don't open things!
All right, you're an idiot. Go ahead and go with your next game.
Well, I mean, do you want to open a little bit and then... okay, all right. I only have a few more. Speaking of boobs, Dead or Alive 6 for the PlayStation 4. Now, they have a Dead or Alive 6
I have to ask, do they still do the gravity bouncing boobs mode? Do you remember that from Dead or Alive 1 where the women would just... Yeah, exactly. Their boobs with it. That was so ridiculous.
No, that was so realistic is what you meant to say.
Sure, right. Because that's what real boobs do. Okay.
Yeah. And they feel like sandbags.
Have you played this at all? I see that it's sealed. Why do I even ask?
I have not, but I will. I do definitely plan on playing DOA 6. Now, this had, and I got this because this was super cheap. I think it went down to like $20 and $15 with Gamers Club Unlocked. There was a collector's edition that came with like a figure, but it was super expensive and hard to come by. And even though I will play this, I will not play this enough to justify spending $100 and some. So I just went with the regular edition of Dead or Alive.
I'm so glad that Maddie has played Dead or Alive Beach Volleyball. Do you remember that game? I remember the trailers for that game. I don't even remember playing it. I just remember watching like 18 hours worth of trailers with you. And it was like we were both like, "This is so stupid. Let's watch the next trailer."
And we didn't stop watching. So not only have I played Dead or Alive Extreme Volleyball, when I was in Japan a few years ago, I bought the Japanese version, which is a physical copy. It was only released in Japan and in Asia. Bought the game, brought it home, and on Valentine's Day, because Japan is just classy like that, they released some VR content for it. So I bought... No, it was free. It was free. So I downloaded the VR content. I had to create a Japanese account, download the VR content, and played DOA Extreme 3 in VR, and let me tell you, it was the best, most amazing VR content I've ever played in my entire life. Like, the characters were just there in real life.
This is getting creepy. Did you get an additional controller with this VR?
Well,
I'm not going to ask. You know what? Don't answer that.
There was a feature that they took out of the game where you could take the PlayStation Move and like touch them, but they took that out. So no controller antics. But
that's
like,
creepy. When
you say creepy, you're right, because at first, because me being a big nerd, being a technical guy, like I put on my headset and I see like Ayane, Kasumi, or whoever, like in real life, and I'm like, oh my god! Like the geeky part of me is like, I can't believe I'm looking at my favorite characters in DOA in real life. And then it sets to the things that they're doing, and they're like swinging and jumping and playing and pulls, and I was like, well, that was fun.
No, here's something. Maddie picks up more games than I do, and she's in the chat. We should have her on next time to do this. But I also don't know. I think she gets a lot of her stuff digitally too. But I know she also likes physical, like we do.
Why do you say physical like this? What do you
physical? Because we were just talking about Dead or Alive, right? Anyway, so Nightmare Boy does come with a little art book.
Oh, cool!
Again, from Badlands Studios. It's pretty cool, man. It has like little 16-bit graphics, side scroller. So pretty awesome. Can't wait to play it. I believe this is available digitally in America, but
That's fantastic. Nice work, Kyle.
Who likes digital, right? I mean, it's physical or go home. That's why places like limited run games are no longer limited run games. They're just, and it comes with the soundtrack. They're just run games because, I mean, really, they're not that limited anymore, right? They know they're going to publish 3 or 4 a freaking week, dude.
No, it's bad. It's bad.
Like,
But look, bro, they've hit me hard the past couple of weeks, and they're going to hit me this Friday too. I don't remember what it is, but something's coming out this Friday that I'm like, I got to get it.
I can't keep up. Like, you know, I used to get every shooter on the PSP or PS Vita and stuff like that. So,
oh wait, no, I don't think there's anything coming out this week. All right, I'm clean. The last week it was Luminous, so I picked up Luminous.
He also picked me up Doom. Have you played this? Have you played this game? This is a shooter on the Switch, and I've had a lot of fun with this when Melanie isn't hogging the damn Switch playing Final Fantasy X.
No, I have not.
80th time. This is really fun. It's a side-scroller shooter. I can't, like, you should look up it. I don't think you can see that, but man, it's really fun. I really dig this.
Okay. I mean, like, you know, I love, like, horizontal shooters, vertical shooters. I've actually been playing Gradius 5. Yes, Gradius 5 on the PlayStation 2 again. And Ikaruga. I love those type of shooters. Love that genre. So, sure.
Yeah, that is one thing about physical is eventually you run out of room. But see, in Rob's case, he doesn't collect the omnibuses or comic books and things like that, so he's okay. He's got plenty of room. And he's got a basement that he's been working on for the last 10 years, much like Castle Shikigami. And then
That'll be what I'll do. I'll play Castle Shikigami when I finish when we actually like complete the basement. When we start the basement.
All right, thank you, Sierra Rhymes. Yeah, it's freaking fun, and it's a little bit challenging as the levels go on. I do have another room designated just for my video games and anime. I know you guys, most of you have probably seen my tour of my omnibuses, but my basement's kind of big, and there's another area just for video games. And that's also running out of room, right? Because you collect. That's why I had to get rid of all my cartridges and stuff, my Nintendo stuff, my Super Nintendo. And I know it broke Rob's heart, but I couldn't hold on to them. I was always like, okay, I'm going to just keep everything from the PlayStation and up.
Yeah, I
don't want to know what or who is in the basement. There's plenty of weird shit that goes on down here. All right, Roberto, I only have 3 more, and then you can go ahead and go.
Yeah, I'll do my 3, you do your 3, and then I'll do a last thing real quick. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So we've talked about Mortal Kombat. This again, $20, $15 in my discount. Couple.
Is that the same game, or what is that?
This is the one that came out before Mortal Kombat 11. So this is Mortal Kombat 10 XL. So it's Mortal Kombat 10 XL.
I think it's Mortal Kombat XL. What's that year?
Okay,
I've never been really good with Roman numerals.
So no. So don't think like 40. I guess this would be 40. Is that right? Yeah, the 10 before. 40.
You suck. Go ahead.
It's like a Roman numerals. Okay. No, that's not what this is. This is Mortal Kombat 10, but it's the XL edition because it comes with all of the all the characters, skin packs. Is the complete edition.
See, guys, that's the beauty of having a backlog. Is I haven't bought Street Fighter. What was the last one that came out? Street Fighter 5.
Street Fighter 5. That's right.
I haven't bought it, right? Because I know there's gonna be an Ultimate Edition, much like this, and I'll find it for $15 later, and I'll be like, oh, here's all the skins and patches. And because I'm a realist now when it comes to video games, right? I'm like, I'll wait. No, I mean, you know, it's not like I used to have like, you know, when we used to have video game parties every month. Like we buy the new fighting game, open it up and play it. But yeah, things are different now.
Yeah, we get our video game in like on our birthdays and around Christmas, and that's about it.
All right, so Charlie said, "Wow," and this is the Mortal Kombat guy, Charlie. He said, "I traded MKX to get MK11." So it's funny that you bought both MK10 and 11, and the Mortal Kombat guy's making fun of you.
Thanks, Mortal Kombat guy. I appreciate that. So what? So you're absolutely right. If you wait long enough, all these characters are going to be included. And I was the same way with Street Fighter 5. Like I think I bought Street Fighter 5. I was like, why did I do this? This is stupid. Because if I wait long enough, Street Fighter 5 will have all the characters. Because I think they're still releasing characters for Street Fighter 5, and then I can just buy it once and be done with it. Because that's what I did for Street Fighter 4. So this comes with Bo Raicho, Leatherface, Jason, which I need to talk to Legal about that, Triborg, Predator, Alien, Trimmer, Goro, and Tanya. So there's everyone that's included in Mortal Kombat XL. So which is probably why I should have waited on Mortal Kombat 11, but you know, whatever. And I should have got Mortal Kombat 11 on the Switch because then I could take it with me wherever I go. There's a slight graphical difference between the two, but the Switch version runs at 60 frames a second and is content complete. Like it's an amazing port, even though it's done by NetherRealms. It's a great port. So Maybe I'll switch out this Mortal Kombat Premium, get it on the Switch, and I can play XL on the PS4.
No, that's not
Whatever.
gonna happen. You're gonna end up buying it.
All right, last two real quick.
All right.
Spyro. So just like Crash Bandicoot did a 3 games in 1 re-release on PS4, Spyro did the same thing. And I've always been a fan of Spyro games. Spyro is one of the first games I put on my PlayStation Classic, which if you buy a PlayStation Pro, you can get a PlayStation Classic for free. So you need to get a PlayStation Pro. There's a great way to get your PlayStation Classic, hack it, and put all the games that you want to on it. Anyway, Spyro, this comes with Spyro 1, 2, and 3. That's what it looks like on the back. And it's remastered, and I love Spyro. It's great for the kids. So this is a lot of fun. And again, $20. And the last one, this game was not on sale, but I had to purchase it while Gamers Club unlocked because this is not a me kind of game, but everyone at work is playing this, The Division 2. If Gun ever, has a slight delay...
I feel like you haven't played it yet.
Correct. No, I played the beta. So I have played this. So, there are times where, everyone at Gun is playing this game. It's like, what are you guys doing? Oh, we're playing The Division. Okay, I guess whatever you do on your lunch break is fine. But this has a lot of pickup time. Also, a lot of the folks at Gun used to be at Ubisoft, so it kind of makes sense. There might be even be in the credits of this. So during lunchtime, it is not unusual to find everyone playing The Division 2. So because my Gamers Club was going to run out, okay, I can get this thing for $45 if I purchase it now. So
okay, so you haven't opened it. I'm gonna message you when that game is $30 and be like, Rob, have you opened The Division 2 yet? And you're gonna say no, and I'm like, awesome, I could have saved you $15.
You saved me $15. All right.
Okay, so the last Kyle pile. Once again, mad shout out to him. I haven't opened this because I just got this a couple days ago. This is Raiden 5.
Yep.
Now, what port is this from?
Isn't that the arcade port? I think it's the arcade port.
Okay.
I have Raiden 5 somewhere.
I haven't opened it yet.
I have Raiden 5 somewhere around here too.
What I did open, because he was like, "Oh, you got to play that," and I have been playing it, and my wife was like, "What is this?" This is the Game Paradise Cruisin mix.
What?
This is a Japanese exclusive.
What?
It's a shooter. It's the Sega. It was originally released on the Sega Saturn, and this is so it has the original arcade version, the home version. It's really fun and addicting. Pretty much, it takes place the levels take place in arcades. The characters are really goofy, from really cool to really goofy. You know, like a little mushroom guy, this dude with blonde hair, 2 little girls, and each of their little ships have. I don't need to explain shooters to you. You know how these work. It's a Japanese shooter. It's a lot of fun. I've been having fun with this one. So once I beat this, I'm going to move on to Raiden. But honestly, if I'm going to push one of the shooters today, it's Sin Mora EX. That's been a lot of fun. And then hopefully one day I can finally replay this. This is the Japanese exclusive physical release of what the heck? Rob, help me out here. Okami. Okay. I couldn't remember if it was Okagami or Okami.
You've been watching too much anime.
I guess. And I played the original one, which was released on the PlayStation 2, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Right.
And then there was
Wait.
There was a re-release on the Wii. It was and then the HD remaster on the Wii U, I believe. And then the puppy version on the 3DS, which I did play that. That was adorable. And then this version right here. Because I remember on the Wii, you could play it with the remote. Remember that? The Wiimote?
Yeah, even though the game initially came out on PS2 using a controller, and you use your DualShock, when it came on the Wii, it absolutely makes sense.
That's awesome. So Dave K says he has a dedicated Xbox 360 with a screen vertical just to play all his shmups.
Exactly, right. Ikaruga, I totally have a monitor right there, and I have it at the vertical orientation so I can play Ikaruga the way God intended it to be played. And
all the Maddie, you're more than welcome to come. I didn't know if you bought physical though, like Rob and I. See, Maddie actually plays games, whereas Rob and I collect them.
Well, I mean, Maddie has the freedom.
We should just buy games for Maddie and let her.
We should. Maddie has copious amounts of free time.
Here's the thing. Actually, we're doing an episode tomorrow on how do you find time for your hobby, and that comes out on Thursday. So stay tuned to the channel for that. But
Like,
I
subscribe,
think
share.
we literally need to just like here, Matt. Every time you buy a game, you go to Maddie's house, you let her open it up, and you play it, and she can be like, "Rob, this is pretty good. Level 5 was this boss. You know, it was
That's true.
okay."
That's actually what I should do. I
Funny,
should get.
and then she could take a picture of Ganon, the Ganon outfit in Diablo 3, and she's like, it wasn't worth it. And then vicariously, you could be like, I feel like I just experienced that, and that was an okay game, right?
This is what I'm going to do. This is a good idea. I'm going to have Maddie play my games, and I'm going to hold a controller. But I'm going to do this like while I'm changing diapers, or I'm working, or I'm doing whatever I'm doing, so I can still like pretend that I'm playing the game. Watch her on my phone that's just going on, and then like, oh yeah, I totally played whatever Division 2, and I got really good at it.
That way, when your friends at work are like, "Man, what do you think of like what the hell did you show? Mortal Kombat 11, dude. What'd you think of the? I thought it was pretty." You could text Maddie, and she'd be like, "Rob,
Maddie, what
look,
did I think about
here's the
this?
game mechanics. Here's what's wrong with it. Here's a few glitches I found." And you could just read it like, yeah. So Sub-Zero is overpowered.
My gaming persona says. So I mean, like we're going to talk about this more in the episode that's released tomorrow. But like, I am currently playing because of time. Devil May Cry 5 is what I'm currently playing, but I only get a chance to play it like an hour, maybe every other evening or something.
Now Rob does make time. If the lead character is a pretty boy, he will make time to play.
That is not correct.
That is not correct.
Okay.
I, on the other hand, will always find time to play games like where's my girl? Where's my girl at? Yeah, to play games like this.
Blade Arcus.
Blade Arcus. Look at that.
Like it's all the never mind. The
Anyway, go ahead.
What I was gonna say is like like I'm prioritizing things like Resident Evil 2. I'm trying to get through Devil May Cry, so then I can play Sekiro. Although I need to finish Spider-Man because Sekiro is like a huge time sink. So I don't know. It's tough, but we'll talk about this more tomorrow. Stay tuned.
Us and our first world problems. I don't have enough time. We should be on billboards. We don't have enough time for our games. Please donate.
Wakanda forever. All right. Did you show your last game?
Yep, that's it. What is the final thing that you wanted to talk about?
Final thing. So I have talked about in the past and I'm a retro gamer. So I've talked about the analog Super NT, and I've talked about
games
for Super Nintendo, and I've talked about the analog SG, Mega SG. Mm-hmm. What system is missing?
Turbo.
Well, I showed the Turbo. I did a Super SD system.
What the hell is that? Is that a Nintendo?
So what this is the...
That is a Nintendo.
The Retro AVS. Retro AVS. It's by a company called Retro USB.
Dude, I thought you already had this. How many versions of... Okay, so what is this?
Okay, what is this? So the analog Super NT and the Mega SG are FPGA systems. So they're not really emulator boxes like the...
I'm sorry, go ahead.
They're not really emulator boxes like the Retron 5 and things like that. They are the chips themselves. The FPGA can be programmed to mimic the chips that are inside of the Super Nintendo, the Genesis, or in this case, the original Nintendo. So the emulation, if you want to call it that, is absolutely perfect because they're actually emulating the hardware rather than software on top of a OS and things like that. So that's what this thing is. So you open this up. And it holds, you can slide in your Nintendo games, or you can put your Famicom games at the top. So I happen to have a Super Nintendo game here, my EverDrive. Slide it in. Give it a firm little push. Boom. So you get four controller ports on the front. Power reset. And it just uses standard USB. This is actually USB mini, not micro. And it has HDMI output. And it also has this cool feature where you can plug this thing in here. This is a serial port. You plug into this and, you use your USB port here and plug this into a computer, and you can upload your high scores for certain games. So they have like an online leaderboard of playing games and things like that. Finally, this port on the side is for things like your Famicom disk drive, which I have right over here, and I'm going to try not to kick things over when I do this. Oh, God!
Well, the episode's over. Thank you so much for watching.
Like, subscribe, and share.
Please think about joining our Patreon because we're going to need money to help Rob recover. Oh, there he is.
There we are. All right. So this thing, the Super Famicom disk drive, that's what this is.
Jesus Christ, what is this? What monstrosity are you showing me?
So what you can do with this? Oh, and there's also a VR headset for the Famicom.
This is so stupid.
All these
Wait a minute.
things.
Is Dead or Alive Extreme Volleyball on the NES?
No, it is not.
That's the only
It
way
really
I'm playing
should
the
be.
VR shit.
It really should be. But what you can do is plug in all that stuff into the port on the back of this thing. So it's a complete Famicom and Nintendo solution. So this thing is awesome. The quality is perfect, pixel perfect. You can change, like, the palettes. You can change the orientation, the squares, the shape, the pixels. It's awesome. So being able to, and I'm one of these guys that I purchased a FrameMeister in order to upscale my Nintendo that was modded for RGB, to upscale it to HDMI. And there's a little bit, like maybe a frame or two of lag that's introduced when you do that, and it looks great. But this is super convenient that I can just take this thing, plug in my Nintendo or Nintendo or Famicom games directly into it, plug in a control port, and to be good to go directly into the HDMI on my receiver. And there's no lag because it's coming directly out of the system, and it's not that expensive. It's the same price as the others, which is about $100. Well, it is expensive, but it's not ridiculously amount of expensive. It's about $185. Now, Analog themselves, the people who make the Mega SG and the Super NT, they also made a Nintendo one, which was their original one. But if you recall, Omar, this is the one that was made of aluminium and was $500.
Aluminium? Is
Yes.
that the things that are placed on Wolverine's bones?
That's
adamantium.
Adamantium. So then they released a cheaper version that was still made aluminium, but for $450 that used an FPGA, because the original $500 one used actual old Famicom guts that they found someplace, right? So, as much as I'm a retro gamer and hardcore collector, I can't swallow $450 or $500.
Oh, he swallowed a lot more than that before. Go ahead.
Nintendo. Stop it.
For Nintendo, yes.
Actually, yeah, for Nintendo, yeah, you're right. But if Nintendo had released it, yes, you're right. I probably would have paid it. But I can't justify $500 for a Nintendo. Now, granted, the Analog NT was awesome because it did HDMI output and it did RGB output, so it did digital and analog. It's fantastic, but I couldn't do it. If I saw one and on the aftermarket, they're $1,000. They're ridiculous. It's going up how much they have. So, but this thing, like I said, $185, and these are the same people who made my the Nintendo World Championship. They made my Nintendo World Championship card. So, I trust them. I already had an account. If they were running a small sale,
How much was the World Championship card?
$55, and I think I have it right. $50. I have it right here.
You neither won that nor it's the original one, so I don't know the purpose of owning this stupid thing.
I love doing these hauls because I have this right here. So this is the same company, and it's a reproduction card. So I couldn't go to Game King and say, "Hey, you want to buy my Nintendo World Champion copy for $20?"
But you can go to GameStop and they'll give you 12 cents trade-in credit.
GameStop. So yeah, this has a dip switch in what this is. And if you, for the uninitiated, the Nintendo World Championships, where you played one level Super Mario, one level of Ridge Racer, and then you finish off playing Tetris. And that score, whoever got the highest score, you're the winner. So this is a pretty awesome replica reproduction of that thing. So this company, they're awesome. So I bought this AVS thing, and I love what they do, and I love the fact that I can easily play my Nintendo games conveniently, because my kids sometimes are like, "Daddy, I want to play Mario," and the NES Classic is a pretty decent emulator, but it's not perfect. But this thing is perfect because I can actually give them my Nintendo cartridge. And give
I don't know why you're not as excited as I am about the Polymega, because I want to play this and put all this on a hard drive, all these Saturn games on a hard drive, and then just take it with me. I mean, that's the beauty of that system.
What did Polymega confirm that they were going to allow ripping of CD games?
Yes, of authentic games. They haven't announced anything about backups yet.
Yeah, because like you,
what would be the difference, though? I mean,
well, like you, I have a few. Most of my Saturn games are real. My Panzer Dragoon Saga is real. However, I do have
Panzer Dragoon Saga.
No, Panzer Dragoon Zwei. Sorry, not Saga. Zwei.
Oh, I was like, what?
No. Why
don't I have that?
Yeah, I have a replica Saga as well that's in English too. But it would be really nice, exactly what you said, to take some of these games and put them on a hard drive. And you can buy there is a hard drive or SD card kit that you can buy for your Saturn mod, and it does a pretty good job. You can get something similar for the Dreamcast too, where you can, and maybe at some point in the future, I will probably pick up one of these things so I can take my legit games and my rips, put them on one little thing, one little SD card, and then be done with it. Because that's exactly what I did with my Turbo CD. I think I told you the story that I tried to play East on my TurboGrafx CD player, which is right there.
The CD stopped spinning. Right.
And the CD stopped spinning, and I was having panic attacks.
So when I put in Dragon Force 2, that's what I thought. I'm like, oh my god, my beautiful Sega Saturn that I haven't played with in 7 years probably is dead, and it's the one that can play backup. So I was like, I immediately went to Burning Rangers, and I'm like, okay, it's working. And then I sat there and played like the first level of Burning Rangers because I've never played it before. And then I tried my regular games and stuff. So yeah, that's my main thing. It's like I want the commodity of just having all these things, because eventually you do run out of room, right? Mm-hmm. And I would just like to have it in one console, with the ability to be like, oh, okay, for old time nostalgia's sake, it'd be kind of cool to pop a disc in. But if I can have 30 games, I mean, Sega Saturn, dude, they had a lot of games.
Right.
You know how I feel about that system.
Oh yeah, it's one of my favorite systems, and I feel the same thing with the Dreamcast. Like the Dreamcast has so many amazing games.
Dude, the mod you're talking about is at least $500 in the aftermarket.
Yeah, it's expensive. That's what I'm saying.
Why are you even talking about that then?
Because it's what we just talked about. My Super SD System 3 for my TurboGrafx, which does exactly what I'm talking about. I can rip my Turbo CD games, put them on an SD card, and then I'm done with it. I don't have to worry about spin up times. I don't have to worry about finding them, scratching them, because I've dropped Radiant Silvergun into the floor and it hit something. And I think fortunately I only marked up the other side, the label side, but still there's a mark on Radiant Silvergun that's now it's not flawless, right? Like I can avoid all of that if I can rip my games, put them on an SD card, and be done with it. And I want to do that for the Saturn, and I want to do that for the Dreamcast, because again, when that thing quit spinning, because it's a motor, motors quit spinning. My Dreamcast, I guess because it was made in, I don't know, some factory in China in the backwoods, my Dreamcast quit working 1 year for Armageddon. Do you remember that? So I had to go out and buy a new Dreamcast, or used Dreamcast, that evening. And I was like, oh my god, I'm a Dreamcast, what we're gonna do? We can't play games. So like these things will die. Spinning motors will die. So we have to have some sort of means of, especially of disk-based systems, to back them up. Polymega's solution is awesome, but if it can rip, that's an even more thing. But I don't. You were talking about being snooty. I'm kind of on the fence about their emulation, because they're using like emulation on top of like a OS, and they're using some emulators, and I need to see how the emulation.
What would be the difference between that and the things that we've had with the legit NES Mini and the SNES Classic?
No,
I mean, what's the difference? Because it's still using some emulation, right?
It's the same thing, yeah. So, like, right. I mean, like,
and,
the NES Classic,
to have that for a Sega Saturn, though, that's exactly what I've been wanting for years.
Yeah, and if the emulation is Saturn emulation, has traditionally been very like tough to do. So if Polymega, I don't know if they're using for their Saturn emulation, I don't know if they're using their own emulator or they're using something else. If they've licensed someone else or getting an open source, I don't know what the solution is. I will do the research on that, because the Polymega product does interest me, especially when they're throwing shade at the analog guys for not being able to play 32X games. So I do want to figure out what they're doing. But like, if the emulation is on point for Saturn stuff, you're exactly 1,000% right. I want something where I can like take all my Saturn games, because like you have a ton, put them in a stack, rip them, be done with it. Leave them on the shelf, make them look pretty.
Okay. Here's something that I remember. Charlie Rogers says did you guys ever put the PS1 games in your CD player? We filmed an episode called Our Favorite JRPGs. It'll be coming out here in a couple of weeks. And Rob and I reminisced about taking the Sega CD I did with Lunar, and put it in my car CD player, my portable CD player that I used to hook up to my cassette tape. You remember those?
I did that too. I had the one that went to the radio.
It was all fucking ghetto-fied, man. But anyway, and just listening to the music from Lunar, and then you could do the same thing with PlayStation 1 games, and that's a good memory, Charlie. I love that. They stopped doing that, right? Like,
that is called Red Book Audio, and like back in the day, like they had, the game itself, like East was the big one for me. I took East. Maybe that's why I love East as much as I did, because I took the music with me everywhere. Same thing with Lunar, that's how it's pronounced, Lunar. And they don't do that anymore because like the game was really teeny tiny. Then the rest of the CD they could just fill with music. But like now, music is much more diverse and much larger, so they need the space. And then they kind of went away with like PlayStation 2 and later PlayStation 1 games. But some games you could actually do that. And yeah, most Saturn games, because I did the same thing with Virtua Fighter 1 and 2. Because Virtua Fighter 1 has a fantastic soundtrack, and Daytona, and I took those with me everywhere that I went.
That goofy ass Daytona
track.
That one. That one.
Let's go. I met that guy in Japan.
That sang the song?
Yes, and we sang it together. Just one lyric. And then just the subtitles were like Daytona, and then the second one was do.
Oh right.
Oh my gosh, he's a really fun guy.
Okay.
We are about out of time.
Is that it?
I think that's it.
Okay.
I think that's enough.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us. This was Omar and Rob. And if you catch this later on and not live, leave those comments down below. Let us know what you guys ended up picking up this month. And
yeah, what are you excited for this month? And because again, this is
sorry,
my birth month.
April. So let us know what you're excited for in May. What are you excited for in May, Rob?
Well, it's my birth month, so all month I'm going to be buying. I don't actually know. That's a good question.
Is there anything that comes up?
Yes. I saw this movie. So spoilers. This is what happened. Spoilers! Oh my God! Spoilers!
I'll be really surprised if you read that. I'm so proud.
My kids found it and they're like, "Daddy, you got to read this." I'm like,
"This is really good. This is really good, Dad. You got to read it." Like Thanos wipes out half of you.
Spoilers! So the thing I'm trying to figure out what I want to do is I talked about the Mortal Kombat arcade one up. There's also a Mortal Kombat. There is a Final Fight Strider 1944.
That is getting crazy. Go ahead.
Ghosts and Goblins or Ghouls and Ghosts arcade cabinet. So I'm hesitant about the Mortal Kombat one. I want it, but I don't know if I can do that with children running around. Final Fight and Strider, that's calling my name. So I might kick one of the children out of their rooms and buy them one of those. So I'm kind of excited for that.
All right, cool. Thank you everyone for joining us. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. And we're also on Patreon now if you enjoy our content. And you can find us on our social media at NearMintCon on social, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Again, this was Omar and Rob signing off here.
Thank you very much. Keep gaming.